Alrighty, what's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. NVIDIA was the star of the show today. And as we can see, it was an absolute nothing burger. It has done nothing so far in the after hours. It is now 6 o'clock. And NVIDIA has not moved. All we got today was a rejection off of these daily moving averages. And then, in the after hours, we did not get a big move up like many were expecting. Nonetheless, I do think chips are about to go for a ride just because of what we got over here on AVGO. So we did indeed hit the bottom yesterday. We did start bouncing back today. I'm looking for 219.51 over the coming trading sessions. I do think chips are going to continue bouncing over here. This is a sexy chart. You close out with this weekly hammer. The second time off of the 21 EMA, it's probably going to push back up here above 230.93, 237.93, and push back up to 251.88. Looking real sexy over here on the daily and the weekly time frame over here on AVGO, and that is, the main reason I do think chips are probably about to start making a recovery. Now, I have another thing that I'm actually going to skip forward to today in this video right now. I normally make you guys wait until the end of the video for the trade ideas, but we're just going to jump right into it because I do think this is, it's going to be my focus tomorrow, but I do think this is where the movement in the market is going to be in the short term here. All right, at least the easy movement that I'm seeing on these charts right here, I think we're about to see the BT sector start rallying again, or at least start, well, I'm not going to say rallying, but I'm going to say revert back to the mean. I think we could see crypto, all of these crypto stocks as a whole, I think we could see reversion to the mean over here, and that would be aligning with Bitcoin coming back up here to like 94-ish K. I do think that is a probability from this point. We have the daily RSI sitting at a point where we normally start bouncing back from. I'm not saying you bounce back from here, but I think we're at least going to get a little dead cat bounce before going lower, which in this case over here was a 10% bounce. A 10% bounce off of this low. Oh, where does that bring us, guys? Brings us to 90K. Okay, so look for the retest to 90K. Get above 89,164. We'll just call it 90K. Honestly, through this level right here, we're going to be watching 97.42. Get above 97.42. We're going to be watching 94.091. Now, I'm going to skip forward over here to MSTR. Now, this is one that I think is about to make a quick move back up here to 300. That could probably take place this week. And if it happens this week, we're going to have a nice lower wick here on the weekly candlestick. And that could, be indicative of a further push over the coming few weeks. We also have this big trend line here. I think we're at least going to come up to this area and test it. If you were a buyer down here and you are with me, you are going to be a seller up here. Okay? 300 down to 290. All right. You have your short-term moving average sitting right here. I assume it's going to come a little lower tomorrow. All right. So between 290 and 300, start looking for sellers to step back in on this thing. But, coming back into this little area is probably going to be a breeze. All right. And that's where the trade idea lies. We're going to come over here to coin. Daily RSI is also oversold. As we see, it can stay oversold, but this is in 2022. This was literally crypto bear market when it was falling off a cliff down there at 10 to 15K. This is something we see, and it's probably not going to last. All right. We're not in a crypto bear market. I know the president came along and everyone thought crypto was going to pump, including me. He marked the top for crypto, and now you have this. Dude, I'm sorry, I can't, guys. I swear, we all thought it was going to pump to the moon. The thing freaking marks the top. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. You got a 50% drop. This is literally on the... Oh, my God. This is the day of the fucking inauguration. What the fuck is this? Oh, my God. Clown market. We're trading in, guys. But honestly, I'm glad we're in this market right now. Why? Because honestly, these are the markets that are going to condition you. All right. Pain is your friend. Psychology wise, like you as a person, that is what's going to shape you. look at trading the same way. If you are not making money in this environment, but you are surviving, pat yourself on the back. That is going to make it so you take this experience and you move forward with it into the next, little phase we got of the market. And right now, I'm telling you, this is capitulation phase. So if anyone's sitting there panicking and stuff like that, think the market's going to keep just falling off a cliff here. Guys, things are at daily RSIs of 30. Fear and greed index is sitting down here at 22. Like, this is literally where you get your bottoms and you snap back from. All right. I know NVIDIA didn't give us a boost, but is this something you want to fade? Probably not. We're probably not going to revisit this low over here in the short term. We're probably going to revisit 225.86. All right. I'm going to do my best to keep this video short here, but let me just run through things pretty quick. All right. So I said what I wanted to say over there on the Bitcoin stocks, Coin and MSTR. MSTR specifically, this is where my setup is. I'm not touching Coin. I'll probably be taking a position over here on MSTR and playing it up to 300 into the end of the week. That is what I'm thinking over here. I also do want to say, we've been focused on MCD. This thing crapped the bed today. All right. We've been focused on this guy while the market has been, in crap the bed mode. Now it decided it wanted to crap the bed. All right. So I'm just going to say, I think this is going to continue up to new highs, but this is no longer something that, in the short term here, I think is just going to continue going straight up. We will see what happens here, but this is an ugly candlestick. I've been focusing on this guy while I knew the market was in correction mode and doing that because it was, it had a really nice setup. I was preparing for that setup. It played out. I overstayed my welcome on this last position. I took the loss today on the short dated calls, but I'm going to hold the April ones for a move up to new all-time highs. Nonetheless, we made out pretty damn all right over here on MCD, but it is time, guys, for the overall market to start bouncing back. So, that's the only reason I was mentioning what I just did just now is because this is what we're focused on because it was opposed to the market, all right? It was looking really good, whereas the market wasn't. Now I'm going to tell you guys, the market is in a spot to bounce back. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You come over here to NQ. You have a 4-hour bullish divergence building out over here on the RSI. If you undercut this low, you're going to put in a bullish divergence. And at that point, you're probably going to start bouncing back. We hit a spot here where on all of these, I know we've been in this chop. I mean, it's not technically chop. It's, a massive range. Okay. But, if let's just say we're day traders here on the weekly chart and we somehow can day trade the weekly chart, then it's chop. All right. We've gotten nothing. It's been, just consolidating above this previous high over here. It's been doing that for quite some time. It's really gone absolutely nowhere. But during this chop zone, all right, which again, I know it's not chop. It's a massive range. I know it's pretty massive right there. That's, almost 2,000 points top to bottom. The 4-hour RSI getting down here is what marked our bottom over here. It's what marked our bottom over here. You got this bounce, then you came lower. So this is what I'm saying right now. If we come a little bit lower here, just like we did over here, all right, 4-hour RSI, it's probably already bottomed out. It's probably not going much lower than 21 over there. Don't expect this thing to sell much more. Really, just don't. All right. You have this thing oversold. It is like oversold. That is literally every single time. This is where you want to be buying. All right. This is where you establish, have your swing positions and you wait for the reversion to the mean, in my personal opinion. All right. Everybody has their own trading style. I talked about in yesterday's video. I hate that this is like where I'm most comfortable to put on heavy positions, just sit in the red until they pay. I hate that is the case. Like, I'm more comfortable doing that than, riding something into new all-time highs, whereas that would be the strength. But it is what it is. All right. Like, it is, I've been here many, many times over the past few years. It ends the same exact way every single time. McClellan Oscillator has not reset or has not updated for today, but I'm sure that thing is still probably in the dumps too. That is also suggesting we're probably going to start turning around soon. All right. What I will point out here is VIX. You did pull back to 1806. This is what we said in yesterday's video. We were looking for at least a test of over here, and that would align with SPY going to 602.13. I know it didn't go to 602.13, but you got pretty close. All right. You got up to almost 600 there. You saw your rebound. That's a pretty big move there. It is what it is. All right. You didn't test the short-term moving average. I think we can in the coming day. So there's that. But, this does tell you, hey, all right, it found buyers over here off 1806 support, as well as, daily 9 is sitting right there. This is what I was saying. All right. I want to at least see the test of the daily 9. We'll see what happens there. I take things as we go. Right now, guys, we're seeing a doji candlestick print. So if tomorrow's candlestick ends up closing up here, hey, look out below for the next day, maybe. We'll see what happens. But that's why we take it as we go. But again, keep in mind, all right, these things typically don't stay like this long. Meta, or not Meta, Amazon. Do you see how that's looking? You come over here to Meta. It fell off a cliff after going straight up for so many days. It fell off a cliff, full-on reset of the daily RSI. Goog, full-on reset of the daily RSI. Like, this is literally where you bottom out at. I'm not saying you get a massive bounce here, but, you know, probably over the next week, you're probably going to get something like that. That's enough for the market to start moving back up and revert to the mean. Goog's going to come up here to 183, revert back to the mean. I still think you're probably going to get back up here. All right. But now you got a little hump to get over because you decided to lose 183.79. All right. You come over here to Microsoft. Oh, daily RSI is almost an oversold territory. Like, what are you guys expecting? All right. Like, you think things are just going to continue falling off a cliff? Probably not. Tesla, it might continue falling off a cliff. I'm going to be completely honest. I fully did not expect Elon being a part of Doge to mean he's just not going to be participating in his company. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't put 2 and 2 together there. That was on me. This thing is coming into the absolute crapper over here. Daily RSI is now oversold. You already hit oversold territory before, but now we are back down under. We're at 2670 on the daily RSI, and you were coming into a big level. The 271 level, all right? So that was your high over here. All right, so right over there, that was your high. You're going to be retesting that. So this is where you consolidated here for 3 months and then broke out 3 to 4 months right there, and then you broke out from it. Expect buyers when you come back down here if you can't see it. All right, right there at that green line, we can really, you know, declutter this chart here. Get rid of all this crap. Get rid of that crap. Get rid of that crap. We're going to get rid of that crap, and oh, look, a very pretty chart, level to level. All right, what are we going to be looking for? If you come down here tomorrow, expect buyers to step in there. Ideally, you get a hammer candlestick or a doji or some form of buyer stepping in there. Then you want to see continuation. The next move, it's going to be back up here to 326.59. All right, if you can get above there, that's when you can move to 358.64. But this is where you just broke down from. Very clearly, buyers took a stand here. You broke down from it. There's going to be sellers there. You also have the daily short-term moving averages that are going to be right there if you come and retest it. So expect sellers there. That is that. All right. But, you know, there's one thing in common with all these besides Apple over here. Apple just started falling off a cliff here. But you did end up just pulling back to 240.79. I did have an arrow I drew, I believe, in yesterday's video. I was coming down here and then going up there. I'm not saying that's going to be how it goes, but I did have an arrow like this on it before today's move actually came down. And I think I made it in yesterday's video. You know, I'm not sure if you found buyers here at the 21 EMA as well as 240.79 support, or you're going to come a little bit lower and test 237.23. I really don't know, but I do think this is a rather constructive look, and we should expect buyers down here, right over here. All right, so that's what I'm seeing over here on Apple. Now, I understand this is a little unorthodox video we got going on here. We didn't start with the indices, but we got pretty much all the important stuff out the way. Now we're just going to go over the levels here on the indices. Not too bad. Not too bad. What do you guys say? Let me know in the comments how you guys like the structure of today's video. I know it was all over the place, but I got the information out to the people, and that's what we're here for. Upside resistance, guys, we're going to just be watching 598.51. I know this is like, you know, $8 range here. You're like, Henry, what the heck? There's got to be more support between, you know, $8 there. No, guys, just watch this range. Until you get out of the range, don't expect much. Once you break out of the range, all right, start looking for moves like that to happen. Level to level action right there, okay? Break up from here, probably get an equivalent move. You're going to find yourself up to 605.36. All right, where's 605.36? Golden pocket, expect sellers down there. If you could get above here, hey, maybe you start trekking up here. But, you know, that's why we watch things level to level, and I am definitely an advocate of that. Resistance 598.51, 602.13, 605.36, 613.23. Support 590.49, and underneath there, guys, you watch a 585, that gap build down there. You don't want to come down there, but if it does, that's probably where you're going to get buyers stepping in. Come over here to QQQ. What do we got cooking, guys? Support 511.05. You don't want to lose 508.50. If you lose 508.50, you have risk of coming all the way down to 500 to 503. All right, 499.70 to 503.28. That's the risk if you lose 508.50. So I'll just put that right there. On the upside is resistance. We have 519.66, today's top, 522.19, and then 525.97. 525.97 is going to be the retest of that trend line, as well as your short-term moving averages, as well as a key horizontal level there. All right, so bears, this is where you're going to shine if you want to shine. It's going to be right up here. People think Henry Boy over here is perm bull. I call both the shots in almost every single video. I give you scenarios for downside and upside. I never expect the market to move straight up. It is, something that just comes with the territory. You shouldn't, you physically can't expect the market to go straight up or straight down. It's just how things don't work. They never, I know this thing's going straight down as I'm saying it. I know. But as you can see, oh, you got a bounce, and then you continue lower. Oh, you got another bounce, then you continue lower. Well, this is the golden pocket test. This is the golden pocket test. Things don't go straight up. They don't go straight down. Just like when you went almost all-time highs, and then you had an aggressive pullback. Where was the aggressive pullback being bought up at? Say it with me, guys. Say it with me before I get a chance here, because my thing wanted to be a magnet. All right, golden pocket right here. Boom, bounce of the golden pocket. That's where we're going to look for sellers up here if we test it. Okay? That's that. Right up here. Okay, so you have a golden pocket test. You're going to have trend line tests. You're going to have the short-term moving averages sitting right here. I could very, easily see something like that. Oh, and then boom, there's a wick all in one day. There's a wick that forms right here, and it puts in a retest off that trend line. It, closes underneath the short-term moving averages here. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's possible, and I can clearly see the structure if it wants to build on the chart. That's QQ. Come over here to IWM, guys. I'll stick with this one. IWM downside is limited, guys. It's putting in one of these before it bounces back. That's what's going on here. The daily RSI is already pretty much in oversold territory. It's where it starts bouncing back from. I don't think we're coming back over here, all right, and getting one of these guys where IWM just falls off a cliff and just builds divergence out for like 2 months. I don't think we're getting that. I think it's very clearly we're not. This phase of the market is not this phase of the market where it's capitulation. It's just not. I know we have our own capitulation going on here, but that was, everyone sells small caps because they're never coming back, and that's that. Well, IWM is sitting down here, the 0.618 fib. You have a golden pocket test. You swept the 213.97 low we talked about, and if you come over here to the hourly time frame, you actually did have these bullish divergences building right here as you came down to 213.97 support. If you come down, you're going to continue building those 1 hour bullish divergences, and then eventually you are going to snap back. That's how it is going to go. So that is IWM. Coming over here, and actually I didn't go over support and resistance, so let's just get that out the way. 217.37, that is resistance above there, 220.67. On the downside, you have 213.97, and then underneath there, you're literally just going to watch the 15-minute and 1 hour RSI down here. You're going to watch for these divergences to form. You see the divergence form, then you see you start pushing off of that base you're forming. This is like the range. Let's say you do something like this. You come down, you take out this low, puts another point of divergence, then you push up over here. Right when you take out this high right here, that's when you know things are starting to shift to the upside. That's IWM. That's how I would go about it. DIA, consolidating in what looks to be a bear flag. Not really sure how this is going to play out here, but I can very clearly see you rejected the short-term moving average here today. Then the daily 9 as well as your 438.70 support flipped into resistance. So you rejected that today. That's not the best look over there. But we are sitting, right below your support. Well, previous support, right below your short-term moving averages, and right above your demand zone. So things are getting tight here. The same concept as when you're in a rising wedge or falling wedge or any wedge pennant formation, and then you come to the apex, all right? So eventually when you're in between a short-term moving average and a key level, eventually one end is going to snap. So we will see what happens over here. If it snaps, though, you just come down here. All right. Daily RSI gets down to oversold territory again, like it did over here. And price is literally just going to go like that. And then you can find yourself right back here at 438.70. But yeah, I can very clearly see it. You can undercut this. All right. You consolidate, boom. You know, sweep down. There you go. Everyone's like, oh my God, the sky's falling. And then boom, it gets right back, bought back up. The daily RSI is literally in oversold territory while price is coming into the golden pocket. This whole move right here is being retraced. This is where you look for buyers of that move. This is the discount area of this move. That's how I look at it. MAGS ETF, daily RSI is in this. I pointed this out yesterday's video. Same exact spot as the only three times it's been down there. They have marked your bottoms. I don't think this time is going to be different, but if you pull back, you're just going to retest this key spot over here, okay? So, and that's right around 50 bucks, by the way. Pretty much exactly at 50. We'll just mark that was a horizontal line there. Put back on the magnet. There we go. 49.96. Like, guys, this is not what you see when you're about to get a bunch more downside. This is literally what you see when the rubber band's about to snap back to the mean. You revert back to the mean. That's what happens. All right, we already went over the Mag 7 stocks. Chips, guys. Chips. The video over here, guys, didn't really do anything. Literally absolutely nothing. I'll pull up extended hours for you guys. It did absolutely nothing. It killed premiums. And this is why, you know, I'm a huge advocate of do not hold things and do not hold your options into earnings. You can take shares. It's not going to affect you there. Obviously, you have the volatile price swing, but at least you won't have to deal with all the other crap that options bring with it. And, you know, if you don't get these expected moves, all premiums get crushed no matter what. So there's no point in holding into these things, my personal opinion. Sometimes, you know, sometimes chart is set up in a certain way and you could do so, all right? But most of the time, it's probably better just to not do so. There's that. Like you had something like snow, that's going off of earnings. Like this might have made you money, all right? Probably not too much. But then you have something like this that's going to, you know, we're talking like weekly contracts. I didn't look at them, but we'll just say your 140C just went from $500 to it's opening at $1 or, you know, something like that. Like you get that all at once. Like I got that with freaking Serve over here. It wasn't due to freaking earnings, but, you know, same thing. It's, you know, you're going to wake up to a minus 80 to 90% on your options. And that's just not something that I willingly would walk into. That is that. All right. Nonetheless, guys, AVGO over here, I was pretty vocal about this on this day right here. I thought we were coming to a bottom. I said bottom within the next 1 to 2 trading sessions. All right. I said it for the overall market too, but AVGO was a part of that thesis here. And I'm telling you guys right now, this thing is probably going to start snapping back. You're probably going to see this thing at 219.51 to 226.80 this week. All right, weekly RSI, or not weekly RSI, weekly hammer candlestick off the 21 EMA. This will look really good if you can close out up here into next week, and you're probably gonna test, you know, the upper boundary of this little range you got going on here. This thing looks great. I don't know what to tell people. I know I told you guys it was gonna look like it's dying and everyone's not gonna want it, but that is literally where it has bottomed every single time over the last 2 years. And we had the trade idea over here. I didn't take it. Okay. We had the trade idea. Or was it over here? And I sold somewhere over here. And then I didn't hold through that. I think we're probably going to get a repeat of this crap. All right. I'm not saying AVGO, you know, spikes up here, but I think we're going to rally into earnings here and start getting up here 240 to 250 into earnings. You pushed up to the all-time highs into earnings last time. I think that can happen over here with how we are positioned. That is AVGO. SMCI. You got bought up off of the filing news. Notice where we have this green circle. You got pretty darn close there, guys. We said if you don't get buyers off of 50.61, you're probably going to see them off of 42.88 because you have the 21 EMA sitting right there. And the thing is just made an aggressive, impulsive move. Probably going to get bought up. You got bought up. All right. I didn't know the news, but I knew the charts. And I think probably going to hit it with one of these guys. You're probably going to consolidate and then start pushing up if the overall market pushes up. I think this could be a leader if the market starts really pushing. ARM over here, guys, putting the hammer candlestick yesterday, and you're consolidating today. I think this is poised to move back up here to this 150 area. AMD, nope, this is the deadest dog I've seen in quite some time. And we've known about it. It's not like we haven't known about it, guys. We've known not to touch this thing. We knew, you know, over here, it's not worth touching this thing. We knew over here, it's not worth touching this thing. And guess what, guys? What am I about to say? It's still not worth touching this thing. Don't touch AMD. You got no reason to, all right? You want a really nice trade going into the end of the week? I do think this is where the volatility is going to be, right here on MSTR. I think we could see a nice 5 to 10% move tomorrow. And that is something that I think is worth focusing on. But did I say $5 to $10 move? 5 to 10% move. And that would be 5% bring you up, you know, 275 to 280. All right. And 10% brings you up to that 290 spot. All right. But I'm serious, guys. This is the magnet right here on this chart. This is the magnet 303.80. That is what I'm seeing here. All right. You expect sellers into there, because this is where they, you know, were supporting price. If you pull back into that, you're probably going to get anyone who is holding the, like, you know, buying over here, and then boom, they're holding the bag now. They're going to unload their bags once they get near break even. That creates supply. There you go. All right. Right there. Okay. TSM, guys, you did start buying this thing up today. I talked about it, and I told you I didn't think this time was going to be different. I did say the other day we had straight puts coming in. It was on this day right here. We had straight puts coming in all day, so I thought we were probably going to undercut this 187.67 low. But we are right here on the weekly 21 EMA, and this has been supporting price for years now. I think it's probably going to continue supporting price out. By that, I mean a year and a half. Not years, but year and a half. But yeah, one time you got bought up. 2 time you got bought up. 3 time you got bought up. 4 time. 5 time. Well, is this about to be the 6th? Probably, with how things are shaping up. There's that. That's TSM. All right, guys. So that's what I have for you guys today. I already pointed out my favorite setup right now. It was MSTR, was MCD, but, you know, I will tell you this thing, it crapped the bed today. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It crapped the bed today. I don't know if this thing's just going to resume moving up here. I think it's more likely to consolidate and then push up. So that is that. The other one I would like to keep on your radar is HOOD. All right. I like how this weekly candle is shaping up here. This will just be a pullback to the mean over here on the weekly time frame. And you're probably going to start pushing up the all-time highs over here after this, you know, is over. You've been grinding into new highs 4 months. Very long time now. It is for half a year. It is likely to continue after this dip is up. PLTR is another one. It's probably going to continue pushing after this dip is up. And I at least can see, if you're consolidating down here, let's see you undercut this low you made over there the other day. Let's get down to 84.80. All right. And then put in a hammer candlestick over here. Some nice lower wick action right there. And I can see a clear path back to 95.80. That's still going to be right here by the short-term moving averages, right above that. All right. You have like the 100 psych level. That's a key spot as well. 99.32 right there. Being out somewhere in between here and here, we're probably going to get back to. So that is what I'm going to be paying attention to over here on PLTR. But just like HOOD over there, big momentum stock here, big runner, and it's just pulling back and reverting to the mean. I don't think it's something to be bearish about. All right, Costco, this is one that, Trump decided to open his mouth today and everything fell off a cliff and cost went with it. It is what it is. Earnings is coming up. We typically don't see big moves off of earnings, so I think this is going to be an event that kills premiums. I am looking for a test over here, and I will gladly take advantage of that. But ideally, okay, like if it's before earnings, if this thing comes down before earnings, you can play the bounce back, but just know premiums are going to be juiced. And if we know most of these times, right here, nothing burger. Right here, nothing burger. Right here, nothing burger. Let's keep going back. Right here, fell off a cliff. Right here, nothing burger, okay? Most of these are nothing burgers, which tells us premiums are probably just going to get clapped. All right? So even if you see this move right here, Premium's buying right here is probably going to be less money than it is over here. Now we're going to say right here, okay? If you're buying up here, I don't know, it might be a little bit more. But if you just wait post earnings and stock price happens to not do anything, but it's still in this bullish structure right here, very likely going to continue up and eventually make that move. So it's something to keep on your radar. It's something I'm keeping on my radar. All right. With that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it's a tough market to trade. I understand. I'm in it with you. I do definitely understand. I see what's going on. I experience what's going on. And it's my job to report what's going on and to analyze these markets. I promise you guys, this is probably like the toughest market you're going to get. Well, I'm not going to say the toughest market you're going to get. This is the toughest phase of the market you're going to get. Why are we on Baba chart? Get out of here. SPY, guys, this thing has been consolidating for 3 months in the same range. All right. From over here, you've been in the same exact price range. 3 to 4 months. That is frustrating price action to trade. Just understand, guys, this is the most frustrating the market gets. Okay. Don't lose your heads now. I'm serious. I meant what I said before. If you are managing your positions and your money well in this market and you are, not losing in this market, you're doing a phenomenal job. At some point, the market is going to start trending again. That is when the easy money comes in. I'm vocal about when I see these reversion to the mean trades. This is where I'm like most comfortable with on the tickers that I have learned over the past few years. All right. I'm not saying on other tickers that I don't know about, but I've back tested and I've charted these tickers we cover in these videos quite a bit. And when we see these conditions, they typically lead to you snapping back. All right. So I will be vocal about it and I will pound the table on it. I know you fell off a cliff over here and it is what it is. And now we're down here. There is money to be made. You just have to be patient. Okay, the market, honestly, you don't have to trade every day. If you don't want to, you don't have to trade every day. Only trade when you see a nice setup, okay? You see something like this over here, all right? We all know, anybody who follows along the channel, we all know you hit down here on AVGO, it's a buy. I'm not saying it's like a guaranteed, you're making money, guaranteed kind of thing, but I can point out every time over the last 2 years it's happened, like 7 or 8 times, you've gotten bought up, it's marked the bottom, all right? The bottom, okay? So like you see things like this, consider them A+. Take them. All right. You see things like this. We talked about Amazon in advance. We said on this day, if you get one more capitulation day, all right, you move down. You hit the spot on daily RSI at the low here. This spot was being hit. You knew to buy. Okay. Like things like this, like you can take those A+ setups and only them. You don't have to trade the market every day. And I want to let everyone know that honestly, you might make more money in the market if you just choose when not to trade. Okay, I have a problem with always wanting to trade. It also might, with the whole, being the leader of a group and all, they want trades. And I'm just going to tell you right now, sometimes I don't want to put on trades. And it is what it is. And I know people don't like it, but it is what it is. Right now, I'm telling you, this is like throughout my years in the market, this is when it is the easiest to go heavy with time and then sit on your hands and do absolutely nothing. This is that time. All right, guys, I'm going to close out the video with that. Just a reminder at the very end of the video, just in case everyone forgot, Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 22. McClellan Oscillator, NASDAQ McClellan Oscillator is sitting down where we normally snap back. And we have a bunch of oversold daily RSIs. We're probably going to be bouncing back. So with that being said, ladies and gents, I hope everybody has a lovely rest of their evening. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.